Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, How Law Brings Business. My name is Shanley. So today I'm going to talk about innovation and law. So startup is a representation of innovation in the business aspect. As I mentioned previously, startup is a group of people having some kind of idea that trying to solve a problem in the real world, and people which will be their target clients, they're willing to pay for their solutions. So there are different ways of solving a problem. It depends on how creative you are and how the ideas are achievable. And sometimes it will go beyond the current legislations. Just take Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency trading platform as an example. So I also mentioned in my previous video that there's no sophisticated legislation in this area. And the issue that we came across, maybe from a law and business perspective, is that, okay, so this is our plan. If you're entrepreneurs, so you may think, okay, this is our plan, and we try to do X, Y, Z. And before you do that, you may consider, okay, is there any legislation that I should comply with? Or am I doing something illegal? Or if I should do something else, for example, to get a license or get registered, things like that. So this is how law get involved in the startup settings. It's when after you have some kind of idea, then you're trying to enforce it, then you may consider, okay, should I seek some legal advice on certain things? I mean, it's always good to seek legal advice to see whether your business model or whether the business plan that you have is under certain regulations, or if you have some legal obligations to comply with. Yeah, because but then there is a dilemma for the startups that usually at the planning stage or setup stage, the startups won't have enough funding, or maybe they have other priorities to spend the money. Like they may focus on to develop the service or the product rather than to seek legal advice. And so that's what most startups will do, is they will do it first and receive some letters from maybe the government or like other business later, if there is legal issues. And yeah, so this is one thing. This is one dilemma that I can tell from the startup perspective. And also, it's generally true that the legislation always falls behind, as Uber and Airbnb that I mentioned in my previous video. So it also depends on the domestic legislation as well, because different countries, they have different attitude or different approach to the newly developed technology solutions, or like these creative solutions that may challenge those traditional industry, especially when the traditional industry is highly regulated. And we can see some innovative product, for example, in the superannuation, even though we can't put our superannuation into a cryptocurrency. However, there are some super funds that are able to give you some kind of product that you can choose to invest in American stocks, for example. And so I found that's a very creative solutions, and definitely they are registered in Australia and they have to follow all the super fund regulations, for example. So it's important to check about existing companies or maybe your competitors to see what are they doing, and if they are a member of a certain industry committee, or if they are a member of some other organizations, because usually industry may have their own committee. That's what we call self-regulation. So the self-regulation is different from the legal rules and regulations because it's more like an industry standard for you to step in an industry, and there's certain rules of conduct that you need to follow, which will come with the obligations, for example. So do your research as a startup. I think the more you understand about the industry that you are at, the more you know about your competitor, it will be beneficial to you to look at your own product and services, and maybe can help you to get a better market share. So I hope that this is helpful for people who are thinking about how they're doing their startup. So personally, I'm very interested in the startup and entrepreneurship, and that's why most of my videos are somehow in relation to startup and technology as well. Alright, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and you can like and share.